What's going on, all you cool cats and kittens? This is chiefsutt. I'm just here to make some fantasy football videos for the people out there that like playing fantasy. They just kind of don't have time to watch a million different YouTube channels and pay that much attention to where everybody's at and coaching changes and all that. But I am. I have a lot of videos in the cooker or whatever the heck they say, and this is just the first kind of intro video to let you guys know what's good. But yeah, I've been playing fantasy football for like a long time, probably closer to 10 years. But the last 3, I've taken it very seriously, where I'm doing like hundreds of mock drafts and watching a bunch and looking at everything that you can look at. And I found a few sources that I trust, different YouTube channels, websites, and I basically culminate all those into my strategies. And I've been watching football since Vic 01-ish. Yeah, Michael Vick cover at the same time of the Miami Hurricanes popping off. And don't forget, I suited up from 05 to 2010. I've been known to block a couple of guys out wide or in the slot. I wasn't some like stud guy that was like a 3-star, 2-star recruit in Florida, but I knew my role. I started every game my senior year as wide receiver on a really talented team that made a little playoff run. So I know something about football. Not the most athletic. I had to use my brain, so I had to figure shit out. But that's why all my videos are based off statistics. Everything you see is numbers. It's NFL.com. It's Fantasy Pros. It's just actual stats, actual numbers. And my personal preferences, when you see me start to favorite a guy or tell you I just love a guy, it's because of his football skill. It's because he's a good-ass football player, straight up. It's because of the systems he's in, or it's because of the schedule. And if they have all 3, I'm telling you to reach for that guy because you need him. I don't do a whole bunch of shit on, their 40 time. I'll say it here and there because it is important. But my main priority isn't ranking guys on those kind of things and PFF scores and the same stuff that they say every single day on Pro Football Focus's show and NFL Fantasy Live and NFL Network. I do think Pat Mahomes is going to throw for more than 3,000 yards this year. Like, no shit, dude. But like, I watch a lot of NFL games. If anyone knows me, every single week you'll see me locked in with 3 screens watching everything. Same with college. I am not always right, and I'll tell you that straight up. But I am more prepared than an everyday football fan just joining a draft with his friends. I'm that guy when you have the 3rd pick and you're doing it, and then I have the 10th pick. By round 4, I'm cruising. I'm in autopilot, and you're just wondering, who is that guy? Who is that guy? Who is that? Yeah, that's me. That's how I draft. But I'm going to follow this one up with a video basically breaking down one of my major concepts, and I have about 20 concepts I'm going to share with people. And I literally want you to confuse your draft. I want you to win your league. I want you to hit me up after the season and be like, damn, that really hurt. And I am trying to direct things towards Twitch because I'm going to be doing a weekly show on Twitch. I have a Discord as well where I'll be making all these PowerPoints available for you to like keep if you want to look over them fast, because I'm going to fly through the rest of this stuff. But I literally pulled up my draft results, like what I started with, and the team that I finished with for the 2 teams I drafted in 2017 when I started carrying like this, 2018, and then last year. 2 league, one was a work league, one's a hometown league, simple shit, nothing crazy. But yeah, this one I had the 11th overall pick. I finished second with a 9-5 record. Basically drafted the same team in this league. I had the 12th overall pick in half-point PPR. I finished second overall with a 6-7 record, and I'm thinking about doing a full breakdown video on that because you're like, how the fuck do you go 6-7 and finish second? I made the playoffs and then I just started smacking people, but I can break that down on another one if y'all want. 2018, I had the 2nd pick overall. I finished 9th with a 4-10 record, and that was my David Johnson year where I knew David Johnson was going to hit, and I took him 2nd and 1st, and he killed me. And it wasn't just him that killed me. I could have worked around that. You'll notice McCaffrey was a 3rd rounder in that same exact draft, but shit happens, man. And this one, I had the 1st overall pick. It was a 2 QB league. Once again, David Johnson. I drafted this league super hammered at Graffiti Junction, so I also don't recommend doing that. But I finished 9th out of 10 with a 4-10 record. Even with doing that, I still drafted Patrick Mahomes in the 10th round. And that was the year that he absolutely went off. And yeah, I ended up trading him around and shit because there was value there, but it is what it is. And then last year was a culmination of everything. I had the 6th overall pick, right in between. And I finished 1st overall with a 9-5 record. And nothing crazy. The first 7 picks, you're kind of mad about it. Adams, Juju, David Montgomery, Mark Ingram, James White, Cam Newton, Christian Kirk. But I basically won my league between Austin Eckler and Lamar Jackson. And when you look at the final roster, you see Lamar Jackson, Austin Eckler. But where the fuck did Devontae Parker and Alvin Kamara and Darren Waller come from? And Terry McLaurin? Like, yeah. I can do a whole breakdown on that one. That was a great league. But the overall observations on everything, I made all my money on the late rounds. I'm never the league leader in wins. I'm never going to go undefeated and then beat everyone in the playoffs too. I don't think that's how you win fantasy. I think you win fantasy by getting hot after the trade deadline and finishing the season strong. And I think if you're going to draft multiple leagues, try to draft the same team so you have some constants. And then variables are always going to be free agents and trades, and depending on who's in the league, who their favorite players in their team is, that kind of thing. But, yeah, so names that appear consistently since 2017, before everyone was telling you to draft them this year and how great they are and how good they are. These are guys that I've been drafting for 3 years, including Christian McCaffrey, number 1 in fantasy last year. I don't even need to talk about him. I don't need to talk about Michael Thomas, but you can go back and look on any of those slides. Michael Thomas was my guy in everything. Same with Cooper Kupp on final rosters on pretty much all of them and draft. And that guy's really slept on. I'm a really big Cooper Kupp guy. He's a fantastic football player, and he's the number 1 receiver. You could argue Brandon Cooks and all these other guys, Robert Woods, whatever, but Jared Goff throws the ball to Cooper Kupp, and it's that easy. And it's a similar thing to Wes Welker and Tom Brady, except Wes Welker is my height, which is about 5'8" and good cleats. And Cooper Kupp's 6'2", bro. So, like, get your mind right. And I was early on Juju. That 6 and 7 season, I picked him up in free agency, ended up riding out. Big Juju guy, great football player. But, yeah, the trades, free agency moves are key. I'm going to do full breakdowns on that. But upcoming things that I'm going to make, important rookies and guys on new teams, because obviously that's something you need before a fantasy draft, and people forget it. I've seen guys, everyone has it once a draft. Damn it, I thought he was on me. Fuck. Whatever. Draft position specific cheat sheets. That's not going to be free unless you're subscribed to me on Twitch, which you can do for free if you have Amazon Prime. That's basically going to be like, hey, you have pick 1 through 4. Here's a full draft guide on who should be available in the later rounds, who shouldn't be available, who you shouldn't go for, who you should try to get to try to trade if someone in your league is a Steelers fan, that kind of thing. Position by position targets and avoids. QBs I'm looking at and I'm not touching for anything. Wide receivers. I'm going to do all those for free as well and put them on this YouTube channel. Trade techniques and mentality I'll put on here. Free agent techniques I'll put on here. Individual defensive player. I'm in a Dynasty league where it's actual, like, you start a DB, you start a linebacker. I do stuff on that too. And all the Dynasty stuff, I'm going to do a little bit on that every week on Twitch. And once again, the sub Discord is basically a fantasy football Discord. Most of my subscribers like fantasy football, and if they don't, they should. But this is my Dynasty team draft results and final roster. It's not final because we're getting ready to start it back up. But you can see I went at the number 8 overall pick. I went Michael Thomas. How does that look now for a Dynasty league, you know? He's probably number 1, number 2, depending on who you ask for Dynasty picks as overall. And I have him with Kyler Murray, with Josh Allen, with Joe Mixon, who you're going to see people start saying might be the best fantasy running back this year. That O-line's finally rebuilt. It was built last year, but they were all hurt. And they came back at the end of the season, and Mixon started popping off a little bit. Now you're getting rid of the Red Rocket, R.I.P. the big homie, and you're bringing in Joey Big Bucks. Hey, Mixon's going to be all right this year. Mike Gesicki is going to be very all right. Preston Williams was my last pick in that Dynasty League draft. And most of this league is Dolphins fans. I don't know a lot of the guys in it, but this is going to be cool. And I don't want to bore people with this on the YouTube stuff because I want to keep this kind of quick. But this stuff is dope. The individual defensive players part, I run Jamal Adams because I could go on forever. But yeah, just hit me up on Twitch. Make sure you guys like this stuff. Like, subscribe, comment, all that nonsense. But not for real. You should subscribe because I'm going to be posting these probably weekly, bi-weekly. I don't know. But yeah, peace.